You should always know what's going on with your body. Menopause or any other condition situation. Is menopause a private struggle that women are supposed to manage on our own? Or is it time we ask employers to have responsibility and create a workplace that actually supports women through this transition? No job is worth your mental health or your physical health. That's an important thing to remember. Life will always provide. You don't have to be tied to one job, to one career, to one workplace. You have options. There are always options available. I've had that be my own experience. I thought HR person was trustworthy and they ended up sharing the situation with the employer. Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Menopause Mindshift Self-Love Podcast, where we are having real, honest conversations for women who are ready to write their own menopause story. I am your host, the menopause queen, Lisa R. Triggs. I'm a menopause mindset expert, menopause motivational speaker, and best-selling author. Something came across my desk yesterday, and it was for an article in a magazine. And I started thinking about the two perspectives for this topic. Let me ask you this. Is menopause a private struggle that women are supposed to manage on our own? Or is it time we ask employers to have responsibility and create a workplace that actually supports women through this transition? Okay, so today's episode is just like any other episode, is for informational purposes only. I have no opinion one way or the other that is concrete. But I do want to talk about both sides, because is there a right answer here? What is the right answer? Right now, I feel the right answer is an individual one. I feel like it's circumstantial for each woman's individual case, depending on her employer, what kind of job she has. But this is a really big topic right now. There are a lot of midlife women in the workforce that are going through menopause. They're trying to manage their job as well as their symptoms. And it's affecting their productivity, so I think we're asking for help, right? Because there isn't enough help out there. And to be honest, women don't always feel comfortable to ask, especially HR, because oftentimes HR is for the company. I've had that be my own experience where I thought HR person was trustworthy and they ended up sharing the situation with the employer. Their role is dual, to support the employee, but also to protect the employer. Menopause is a multifaceted topic. It's complicated. It's situational. It's not a one size fits all. Some women will sail through no problem. They won't have an issue. You wouldn't even know they were in it. And other women have debilitating symptoms where they find it hard to function on a daily basis. So is it the employer's responsibility to help, and what should they do? A lot of women don't feel like they know where to go, depending where you live as well. Geographical situation, I believe, is an important factor to consider. Benefits are important factors to consider, because if a woman has benefits available, she might use those benefits to be able to go speak to somebody, a counselor or a therapist, provided what kind of medical plan it is. Maybe hormone replacement therapy is her option in this case. And I'm not sure completely how I feel about it. Because here's the thing. This is the dilemma. Is it our responsibility to be able to work through it ourselves? But women are asking for help from their companies. They're asking to be able to provide more education and more support in order to be able to put a plan in place for them to be able to feel better. And that makes absolute sense from a quality of life and from a healthcare system perspective. Because if you're in a position, if you're in a company, particularly, I think in Canada, a lot more companies provide healthcare benefits than they do in the US, for example. So having accessibility is a main thing. Having said that out loud now, I understand that in the US, not all employers provide healthcare benefits. So that would be a start right there. Whereas in Canada, they do. So we can take advantage of, counseling or even different massage therapy, naturopath, whatever that may be, that helps us maintain our quality of health and our lifestyle. So what do we do when those aren't available though through our employer? It's solely left on us. So I can see where, yes, absolutely, companies need to step up and provide better health care for their employees. There are too many people in general who have huge medical bills in the US and things like that because there isn't company provided health care as much. So, what do we do? Firstly, women need to understand that we absolutely have to advocate for ourselves. Whether your company provides health benefits or not, I do believe there is a point in the journey where you have to advocate for yourself and know you need to go get your testing done when you notice changes in your body. You need to seek out, you need to be the one to say, hey, I'm noticing some things going on here that aren't normal. Could I be entering this stage of life? It's important for you to know if you're there or not. It's important to know for you to know what's going on with your body. And you should always know what's going on with your body. Menopause or any other condition situation, you should always know what's going on with your body. So that is first and foremost. That is self love first, self care, self priority. Know what's going on with your body first and foremost. Then you are able to put an actionable plan in place, whether it's with a healthcare provider or your employer. But I think that's the key focus for me at this point right now is to absolutely understand what's going on in your body. And once you do that, you can choose a way that's right for you. A lot of times it is a perspective. Work causes us stress. And during menopause, our bodies are under stress. So the goal is to reduce stress. So whatever you find, that reduces your stress, read a book, watch a movie, put the tools in place that I use, the mindset tools, change your perspective. All these things are helpful. And here's one thing, I did a post about this a couple weeks ago about 6 tips to help reduce stress. So let's dive into that for a second. One is just park farther out so that you have to walk a few extra steps, not to necessarily, work up a sweat or whatever, but it's just movement in your body. Make sure you have your social time, but it's not about gossiping or drama. It's about sharing and laughter and connection. These are all things that lower stress. Bring a pair of running shoes and go for a walk around your office if you have to. Again, not to work up a sweat, but just it's more for mental health to keep your body moving. Everything is designed to lower stress, and this will help you maintain your function more, right? Listen to your favorite music on the way to work so that you're pumped up, ready to go when you get there and you're vibrating high, you're in a good mood. Stress can't live in a place that's happy. If your vibration's high, stress isn't going to live there. It can't live there. So you're going to be able to function better during your day at work. And lastly, on the way home, listen to Salveggio frequencies. 528 is the love frequency, which will help reduce things on the way home. So you don't have road rage, traffic, whatever. And it lets you take, the day away from you and focus on centering and being and going home and enjoying your evening. So there's just a few things that aren't that hard that can actually help you improve your stress at work. I can really see the need where women want employers to provide more information sessions, tools, things like that. Things that they're lacking, maybe they might not have accessible to, depending on your job, what it is. Going and getting counseling or seeing your doctor, I understand there are so many factors at play. That's why Again, I say everyone's case is individual because employment situation is individual as well. So this is a really big topic to talk about. Whose responsibility is it? Maybe it's both. Absolutely. I would say first and foremost, my position, like I said a few minutes ago, is to make sure that you know your body and what's going on. We all know how to use Google nowadays. So there is nothing stopping you from Googling things that can help you, right? And then there's the other side of the employer to be able to provide those information sessions and strategies to be able to maintain your work ethic and your mental health. And then there's in addition to just information, it's health plan. What resources, what services can employer provide to make sure that you're able to take advantage or utilize massages, therapists, in order for you to be able to live your best life regardless. And here's the thing, for employers who are providing a healthcare benefit plan, ladies, if you're in menopause, utilize it. Go get the massages. Go see the therapist and whatever else they can provide. Acupuncture. There are some companies who will supplement a gym membership. Take advantage of that. Utilize it if it's available to you. So, first and foremost, I think we need to take, I'm going to say the R word, we need to take responsibility and acknowledge this is what's happening to me. This is the stage of life I am. And I'm not saying to your employer, I'm saying to yourself. You need to acknowledge this to yourself. Okay, I know what's going on with me right now. Okay, I know, okay, I'm in perimenopause. I'm struggling here and there. What can I do for myself? You know, and if you're still struggling, then it's another conversation. Maybe if you're tied to an office, maybe it's time to look for a different job where you can work remotely at least part of the time so that you have more flexibility. Oftentimes, one of the things that happens is that when we get that sense of overwhelm and sometimes social interaction is actually difficult. I went through that. I had a difficult time. Um, I actually wanted to be by myself more and on my own more. So I know for some that can be very debilitating where you don't have the desire to want to interact, even though the social connection that I talk about is actually so, so important. Even if it's just, I'm not saying you have to be in a group of 10 people. It can be one person, it can be two people. Because again, we don't want to be gossiping. We want to be laughing and sharing and connecting. So this is a very multifaceted topic with a lot of plugins, a lot of moving parts, a lot of things to consider, a lot of different opinions. And I don't think there is any one right answer, but you have to find the right answer for you. That's all that matters. That's what it boils down to. And sometimes that might be changing jobs. Or if you can retire early, retire early if that's the best option for you. But here's another thing to consider is to try not to let it get to you as well. I try not to let the symptoms get to you. One thing I want to make sure that I mention is that I know from my own personal experience that I was the only one who could make any change in my life for myself. And that alone had many components or was multifaceted. And that's because I had to educate myself and advocate for myself. I had to learn and experiment a little bit to find out what would work for best for me with regard to movement, nutrition, stress reduction. So if you take away anything from today's episode, I hope it's that. It's that you need to advocate for yourself. You need to educate for yourself before you go. Educating and advocating for yourself is the most important thing because the company is going to be worried about the company and you're going to be worried about you. And that's what's most important. Maybe it's time to make a job change. Maybe it's time to work from home. Maybe it's time to start a new business of your own. No job is worth your mental health or your physical health. That's an important thing to remember. Life will always provide. You'll figure it out. Know that. Everything will be okay. You don't have to be tied to one job, to one career, to one workplace. You have options. There are always options available. So if this one's not working, find one that will. There's a lot to take in here in today's episode to talk about. Like I said, there's no right or wrong. I'm just trying to discuss both sides, right? The important thing is to make an informed decision. Know what's right for you. Your health matters the most. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode of the Menopause Mindshift Self-Love Podcast. We've had a lot to unpack, a lot to think about, because there is a lot going on. There are so many things that are going on in the world today, and menopause health in is at the forefront. And I'm actually so happy for it because that means we're making progress. That means we're making an impact. That means our voices are being heard. And that's an important thing. Whatever you decide is right for you, make sure your voice is being heard. Remember, self-love first. Thank you so much. Bye for now.